over a few things here with the costume that we created for Mara. We had a few comments on, you know, geez, you must have spent a whole bunch of money on this thing, but in theory we really didn't spend much of anything. I'm going to go over a few of the working parts and kind of how the construction was made. So the whole premises of it was kind of based off the Dark Crystal movie, one of the characters in there. So we built a framework out of conduit, electrical conduit, that we fastened the backpack and stuff on, and those support 4-inch PVC drain pipe that we got as scrap or leftovers on projects. There's 3 sections to this. The first section is fixed solid, and it pivots horizontally, so the head is able to move up and down. So we have this joint here. We got chains to keep it from going past 90 to go down. And all of this is what is paracord, little 3D printed guides that keep all the paracord running the same way. So I have one line, paracord line that runs down the center that allows it to be picked up and stuff there. And then I have 2 lines ran down both sides of it that go all the way up. These lines go all the way up to this joint, which allows his head to move back and forth this way. And those are fastened up here on this, and I have the same type of joint for the up and down as here. It's just turned 90, so it allows it to pivot back and forth that way. All of those lines run all the way back to a bicycle helmet, and on the bicycle helmet we did the same similar setup here on the bicycle helmet, with both lines. The left line coming up goes through 3D printed little guides here and gets tied off at the back on both sides, which allows Mara to, when she turns her head one direction, it tightens up that side, which allows the head to turn to that way. When she turns the other way, loosens this side and tightens this side, makes it swing that way. So she had a helmet on, tied to her, and then when she would move around, the end of the mask would do the same thing. So conduit, like $4 for 16 feet or whatever, 20 feet of conduit that was bent, bolted on here for the support. I bolted a cross piece on here for its arms, and at the end of the arms, or at the shoulder, we used eyelets bolted here, and then another eyelet screwed into 3/4 inch dowel rods. So we have a joint here that moves this way, and down at its elbow we have the same similar joint at its elbow, which allows it to move around that way. So that was on the arms. And this egg crate foam, we have lots of that available. Just cut pieces to fill in its arms and stuff on both sides. So this was, all the foam was free. PVC pipe gave to us from an excavator. The biggest expense, which was like $8, was the fake fur that we covered everything up with. The mask that we got at Fun FX in Mishawaka, and it happened to be a store display model. That was the last one that they had. It had some tears in it from sitting on the shelf, a little bit of dry rot here and there. Its head on top of it was a big gash open, so we just went and got the wig, long costume wig, sprayed it with gray hairspray to color it and stuff, and we just hot melt glued that to cover up the big gash and tear in its head. It had a few other the lenses were missing out of the eyeballs and stuff like that. But originally this mask was, I think it had a $40 price tag on it. We asked the manager of FunFX, since it was tore and damaged, to get anything off, and they were generous enough to, he rang it up and asked us if $4 and with tax $4.30 would be acceptable. So over 90% off. So got that, just repurposed it. The mask is bolted through onto the PVC, and we have polyfill stuffing like you would put in pillows and stuff like that is stuffed his head to keep its shape and stuff on that. One of the things for support, the rest of the frame here, we reused. Inside here is an old one of Mara's book bags from like 2-3 years ago. We just bolted through the straps here on the framework that we made to support everything, bolted it on here. So we have the straps going over, and most of this foam here is slid up over its shoulders to give it some bulk on its shoulders. We added more padding here for padding on the back of the frame to support the weight, and then just reused, so she was able to put her backpack on over her shoulders, and extra padding there to hold it. We added down here at the bottom her waist buckle, a belt here that was a belt that was another Goodwill find for like 25 cents. Belt to hold the back of the bottom of it to keep the weight distributed. Here on the back we used the same fake fur and used foam, some more egg crate foam on the inside of it, and just folded it across the bottom support here, zip tied it through the material just to hold the tail on. Let it just flop around and follow behind her on that. So that's a few things. So pretty much our cost to create the whole costume, had some in conduit, a couple dollars in conduit. The backpack we had, reused that. The hands on the monster is a pair of dish gloves.
Latex free.
Latex free.
Turned inside out.
Dish gloves. Caroline turned them inside out, and so the paint was allowed to stick it, so we added the paint and fake fingernails to it. The helmet, another Goodwill purchase for like $1, something like that for a helmet. To do that, the paracord we had, a few other accents, the scarf around its neck, all this stuff was picked up at Goodwill at their 50, 60, whatever % off sale for just a couple dollars. The boots that we created, we just took the same fur and covered a pair of old winter boots that have come to the end of its life. The soles were coming off of them and stuff, and found a pair of the gloves were monster gloves that was like 50 cents for the gloves, and they were white skeleton gloves. Caroline painted them to match the mask, that same color, and added highlights and details to match what the mask looks like. We just took them, and they were they were matchers. There was 2 left-hand ones. So what we ended up doing, since we were using them for feet, we ended up just cutting them in half and cutting the thumbs off of both of them so they both worked, and we just hot melt glued them to the top of her old winter shoes. So along with that, we had it just repurposed them, added the fur, and hot melt glued the skeleton hands on to give her claw toes for her costume. So And then on the trench coat that we used for to cover everything up, another Goodwill buy, $5 I think maybe.
It was actually $4.90, $4.50, something like that.
$4.50, less than $5. What we did, while it was on, we took a couple different colors, greens, blacks, brown, spray painted it, just add some color. The driveway in a mud puddle, we added mud and dirt to it to give it a little aged look. And then all the stuff that you see here, some of it's dryer lint, some of it's the polyfill that you stuff things for, and we mixed up a mixture of Elmer's glue and paint, just a latex, just a craft paint. Mix that all up and just dunk this stuff in, and rubber gloves, and squished it all around and got it all colored and stuff, and then just stuck stuff all over the back of it for like moss or mold, or like the monster come out of the forest. So all that stuff we had around here, and just colored it and stuck it to the back of it. So that's what was covering it. Pretty much in a nutshell, what went into this. Like I say, we probably have, I don't know, I'm sure less than $30 in the whole outfit. A lot of teamwork, a lot of time to engineer it. Mara was real excited about learning and building the neck, and how the mechanism and all the strings and stuff, how it all worked together. I was able to have her move her head, which moved something clear out at the end of her mask and stuff there. So it's kind of the skeleton behind it, and we'll keep you updated on our next project.